Greetings, listeners. Welcome to Consulting Between Friends. I am your host, Michael Holmes Jr. We all have different problems we deal with in life that can affect us tremendously. Life has its ups and downs, and we all must know how to adapt to life situations. For example, death in the family, relationships with others, and self care. Yes, self care is important to every individual more than you think. When you take time for yourself, it gives you time to reflect on what you want out of life. Also, self care is important to your mental health. Some individuals struggle with self care, and some don't know how to handle different situations as well. In this case, some individuals will lash out with some form of violence or frustration towards others who might not take them seriously about their situation at that time. Other individuals will feel isolated from people they care about in their lives. When these scenarios happen, it can affect your mental health. In this episode, I will be interviewing two individuals who have developed a platform to solve the stigma towards mental health and make individuals feel comfortable to seek help if needed. The name of the platform is Ask Me Anything, which takes a different way to handle mental health overall with AI technology. Edward Darrow and Demetrius Kodrel are the founders of the company. They both will discuss what the platform offers and why someone should take advantage of the solutions that are offered on the platform. The topic is Ask Me Anything is a platform solution for mental health. We will return after a message from our sponsor. Everyone is always planning things, and advertising is needed to make it happen. So, if it's personal or business, let Pinpoint Designs and Images solve that problem. With Pinpoint Designs and Images LLC, you will receive quality work and professional service at a great price. The service that is offered: flyers, business cards, programs, invitations, photo books, ad booklets, and much more. Michael Holmes Jr., owner/principal designer of Pinpoint Designs and Images LLC, contact me by email or social media. Email address is pinpointdesignsandImages@gmail.com, and Instagram Pinpoint Designs, and Facebook Pinpoint Designs and Images. We are back. Before the interview begins, I want to give you a little background on Demetrius Kodrel and Edward Durer. Dmitry is one of the founders of Ask Me Anything. He is from Russia and resides in Argentina. Demetrius is a product manager that has numerous startup companies that has allowed him to express his knowledge to others. Edward Durer is one of the founders of Ask Me Anything. He is a licensed professional counselor in the state of Pennsylvania and is a triple board certified as a counselor. He focused on mental health and athletic health. My guest is Demetrius and Edward. Now, welcome to Consulting Between Friends podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks for having us on.
You're welcome. So, how was y'all day today?
Well, my day's been pretty good overall. It's Sunday evening here, but it's been a relaxing weekend on the East Coast with friends and family, getting some self-care time in for sure, and enjoying the winter weather here without snow. Thank you, thank goodness.
Yes,
Okay.
my set is just typical Argentina day plus 43 degrees, very sunny. Yes, it's good day exploring new location here.
Yes. Well, I like what y'all both have to say how y'all day was. Now, Demetrius, can you explain your background?
Yeah, sure. I'm 22 years old. I have experience to launch two company before. I have one exit in my career after I started work in a large company in my country. After I leave from this company and just be hired on startup from US. And during working on this startup, I got an idea to found AskMeAnything platform, which we're talking.
Correct. Now, Edward, can you explain your background?
Sure. So my name's Edward Dara. I'm a licensed mental health provider. I work full time at Temple University. I'm the director of mental health counseling. I have a private practice right outside of Philadelphia. I have another startup called Flourish Healthcare. That's a technology based startup, and I'm co-founder of AskMeAnything, Mitri. So I have my hand in a lot of different parts of healthcare, but I think that's what helps motivate me to stay within the changes and the upcoming innovations in healthcare as well.
Yes, I can agree with that, especially with healthcare. You have to stay on top of everything. Well, we're about to start the interview. What is Ask Me Anything platform?
Actually, I can answer. Ask Me Anything is just platform, anonymous platform where people can share their thoughts and feel welcome anytime, and get answers from our caring community, which count about 200 people for now, and from psychology experts or mental health counselors.
Okay, so that's basically the background what Ask Me Anything is. Okay, so since you just said that, Demetrius, now Edward, now how do you get involved with this platform?
Well, there's a platform actually called Polywork, which is a emerging kind of community. Think of LinkedIn for a lot of technology workers. And I had been exploring connecting with different professionals, and Dimitri had made a post looking for co-founder for mental health startup. So we had a few conversations. We both felt like the conversation and the rapport was good to work together. I really believe in the idea of having a forum for individuals to go to and feel safe and to explore their mental health. And that's how kind of I transitioned into my role. It actually has probably been a month. But just to kind of go off what Dimitri said, there's a lot of platforms, social media platforms, where people are using it as a way to explore their mental health, share their mental
Hmm.
health, and sometimes the feedback and the support isn't what they expect it to be.
Correct.
And sometimes the people they're sharing it with don't have the skills and don't have the resources to support that person. So we see a lot of Reddit threads that are very mental health focused. We see Twitter threads, and I think that's great. But
Hmm.
my concern is, and I think this is a concern across the globe, is that where do people get help? Where do people get the resources they need after disclosure? And Ask Me Anything is a place to fill in that gap where it's more structured in the sense that individuals are going to have the opportunity to work with other or be supported by other individuals that are either experiencing something similar or have some sort of background in mental health so they can be able to support that person in a more appropriate way. We also, believe that everybody's experience with mental health and how they are going to be their journey through it's different. And that's why we're going to offer so many unique resources for our community base so that it can be tailored to everyone's needs and strengths.
Yes,
Oh, that's
I want to add you. I think platform like Reddit or Facebook, people, some kind of platform where people just share their those, don't promise anything. Our platform promise help because our help for people available 24/7. We can just people get instant help from us. Can get instant help. People can get help from professionals. People on a Reddit, on a Facebook, don't. They can actually get help from users, from community. We just propose professional help, professional approach to solve this problem. We promise it. We have a responsibility to it.
That is true. Having a platform like this, you do got to have responsibility. And like you did mention about social media, a lot of people do rely on social media a lot, but it is not always the correct thing to do. And you have proven that with mental health.
Yes.
When did you come up with the idea and what inspired the name? So I'll ask Demetrius this first.
Yes. Actually, I found this platform. I found this platform personally because I have struggled with the depression, with the just anxiety and so on, and I didn't find a solution to ask any question I want because I usually I have a little shame to ask any question to psychology expert because it was personally. And I just wander into a platform where I can share any of those I have, any of those, and ask any question I want, and get answer from people without any judgment, without any assessment of my actions, of my past experience, and so on. It's just inspiration for a name of this platform.
Oh, that's interesting because when I heard the name, I was wondering, that's really interesting. Ask Me Anything. It's very catchy.
Yes, because people actually really struggle to ask any questions they want because they struggle to have judgment from psychology experts, from this family, from their family or their friends, and just keep those in their mind and don't share it. Yes, it's a big problem.
That is true. So, Edward, what do you have to say about that question as well?
Well, I think Ask Me Anything is a really good way of grabbing attention when people are looking at potential platforms to explore. But what we know is we aren't great. We're not great at questioning or asking questions about our mental health and wellness. And that may be because of stigma. That may be because of fear, because we don't know what that person's going to say. And maybe that's because we don't know how to handle it. So there has been kind of a omittance of question asking. So in some of my work, working with athletes, working with coaches, working with educators, we are promoting and saying you should be checking in with students about their wellness and asking them, how is your mental health? How is your wellness today? To normalize that question, but also to make sure a different response comes than just asking someone, how are you? And somebody's kind of repeated kind of right response to that. So being able to ask someone anything is a really powerful way of changing the dynamic in conversation and also the response to a question.
Yes, that's very true. Well, Edward, since you say that you were in that field, so what type of stuff have you heard people say about their mental health that was interesting to you as well and an eye opener?
One thing that I see time and time again is individuals the first time exploring mental health because they've had it kind of buried deep down, and they were either ashamed or weren't ready to discuss it, and they've lived with that for a very long time. And their experience looking for mental health and exploring it sometimes isn't great, and it's a deterrent.
Yes.
And that's a shame, right? For someone to break out of a place where they feel like they can't say anything about what they're struggling with, and then to finally start to explore it and then have a negative experience. Maybe it's because they can't connect with a mental health provider because there's mental health provider shortage, or they can't afford it, or the counselor that they see they don't connect with, or isn't what they expect it to be. And then that person maybe won't go and explore help again for a long time. So I see that time and time again is that the experience for someone for the first time looking for mental health support is not great for various reasons, whether it's because we don't have enough diverse counselors, or it's because we don't have adequate insurance reimbursement for mental health services. So someone might say, I can't afford it. And we're looking at trying to address that with Ask Me Anything. One, because it's a place where someone can go, and it's for mental health. Number two, each person's going to go with their own different expectations, and we want to make sure that we offer diversity, and equity, inclusion in our platform. So there will be different threads for different types of situations, experiences, symptoms, and backgrounds. We were just talking about potentially offering what we maybe will call a thread for someone that's bilingual that wants to talk about mental health in different languages. Because right now that's hard to do in the U.S. because there's not a lot of bilingual counselors. But we also know that people learn a lot through social media, through YouTube, through e-courses, things that have become more prominent over the past few years. And we want to offer content-driven information that people can access 24/7 at their own pace. Educational, psychoeducational content that's made by licensed professional counselors. So we're looking at bringing in not just a place to, write about your mental health. It's also to explore it and to learn how to acquire transferable coping strategies through different learning avenues.
Oh, that's really interesting, and I like how you explain it because it is really true. People do got to not feel ashamed and afraid if they have any problems. But I do have a problem once in a while, but I'm not really ashamed to admit it. But some people are. And like you did say, Demetrius, you came up with a name for this platform, Ask Me Anything, because you was going through some stuff in your life and you was not finding things that can help you. So you decided to create something to help you plus other people, correct?
Yes. Because actually, the second main idea of this platform is that just be affordable for a lot of people. Because as you can know, average price to psychology expert is in US about $80 per session. But psychology, it's a long-term process. You need a lot of money to afford it and be healthy. It's a lot of money, and a less part of people can just afford it. And our main idea, create a platform, not only forum, platform, comprehensive platform where people can just sign up and solve all mental health problem on one platform.
Okay, well, that's good. Well, since you did say sign up, so what is the going price for this platform regarding sign up fees?
For now, for current period, sign up price is $10, but users have 30 days free trial period. It's $10 includes the subscription every month, includes 2 sessions with psychology experts, 2 sessions, a lot of courses and materials, Q&A session each 2 weeks, and session once a week with the experts. and psychology counselors, mental health counselors, and so on. It's a lot of content and personal work with a person. It's more affordable, and we believe it's more useful for people.
Oh, that makes sense. Edward, do you have anything to say on that topic as well?
Yeah, and Dimitri recently rolled out some artificial intelligence to our platform, which allows community members to type in maybe question about a symptom or how to cope with one, and the artificial intelligence will give it some either education on that symptom, depending on how it's worded, or strategies to cope in that moment. So we know artificial intelligence, AI, has been so emerging and on the top of everyone's conversation right now. But we're utilizing that, bringing that new technology in real time to help someone that isn't sure how to answer their question about how to cope with anxiety or struggling because they can't sleep. So another resource that someone can use for education and coping.
Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. Well, since you did mention about AI technology, that was one I was planning to ask. So I'm going to ask the question. I want you to say your answer, Demetrius. I want you to say your answer, Edward. That's what I'm going to do on this one. I see you use AI technology for the platform. Can you explain how this technology will benefit your clientele, starting with Demetrius?
Yes, we see a lot of hype around ChatGPT. It's some kind of engine which help people get immediately answers on a question. It's some AI technology. Yes,
Okay.
but a lot of people outside from technology don't understand what is GPT and how to use it for their tasks. And we just adapt this engine to our platform, add this algorithm on our platform, and people can ask any questions they want about depression, about anxiety, whatever related to mental health, and get immediate and correct, very correct and useful answers immediately. For example, people have a question, where I can find resources to overcome my depression. He just literally type this question in our GPT algorithm on our website and get immediate, correct, useful answer.
Okay, that's really interesting. So,
Yes.
Edward, you have anything to say on that as well?
No, it's again a part of our mission to bring in emerging technology that's going to help a variety of people that are looking also for different resources. So maybe one person wouldn't be interested in using ChatGPT, and there may be somebody that says, wow, I really want to learn about that technology. I'm going to use it to explore how to better support my mental health. Even if it's just 1% of our population, it's worth it. And that's, what we're trying to offer is things that are different, that allow someone to access mental health in a unique but easier way.
Yes. When it's kind of easier, people are more open to at least try it and don't feel like they're afraid. Correct?
Yes.
Well, yeah, one of the biggest things in mental health, and as I mentioned before, are the boundaries to care.
Yes.
And as Dimitri laid out, $80 for one session. Mental health counseling typically meets weekly, especially in the beginning. So we're talking about with $240 or so of monthly payments for sessions that sometimes aren't covered by your insurance. Yeah, our platform is at bare minimum $9.99 because one, we want to service it and make it something that's going to be serviceable and cutting edge, but two, allow someone to think about it. That's $5 a session with a mental health provider, making it as affordable and as accessible as possible. I think is going to be an important piece to when people are looking at looking at different resources and identify and see Ask Me Anything and see that we have a bunch of different platforms, but we're very much geared towards making it affordable.
Yes, resources and being affordability is important. And the more resources people have available, they are more open to try it. And then it's like an eye opener for them. Like say like, oh, I may have suffering with stress or anxiety, but here's a resource here that can actually help me with my situation at this time. And I don't have to feel ashamed or go sit by somebody or communicate with somebody. And if I don't know them very well, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's actually part of our mission because artificial intelligence is not a human. People don't struggle to ask any questions they want to artificial intelligence because they understand it's not a person. They
Yes.
don't struggle to ask literally whatever they want and
Mhm.
get answers, helpful answers. It's more important for us because if people can ask question, people get answer, and it's first step to try and find solution to treat yourself.
Yes. Mental health isn't taken as seriously as it should be in minority communities. Does this platform offer comfort solutions for people that may be on the fence about therapy? Starting with Edward.
Yeah, and that's an important piece to our platform is offering diversity, equity, and inclusion, offering a variety of providers with different backgrounds and specialties, but also diversity is important in terms of our treating providers that are connected. Also, the content that we offer. I mentioned earlier that there is a shortage of mental health providers, but there's also a shortage of diverse mental health providers, which makes it difficult for certain populations to feel comfortable accessing services. So if we can provide a platform that is diverse and has different threads that maybe someone can relate to, and it could be in different languages. Yeah, I think that's unique, but it'll also allow someone to explore mental health in a way that they haven't done it before. So diversity is very important in mental health and also in our platform.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Diversity is really important because, um, so since you are a therapist, Edward, what is the about percentile for like different race when it comes to mental health issues?
It's a good question. We know that Black men are less likely to go to therapy compared to, I think, almost every other population. Um, and they have a high, there's a high rate of depression and suicidality in Black men. And that is an area that we can do a lot better in supporting, especially with providing providers that are of the same race. I think would
Mhm.
be a big step in supporting a population that is in need of support. We also know that Asian population is a population that isn't seeking therapy in terms of comparatively a large group at a lower rate, and that may be because of cultural norms or because of the lack of Asian providers. So I don't have the statistics in front of me, and I don't think it's fair for me to, give exact numbers. Just from what I know is that there are certain populations that aren't seeking support, and there are
Mhm.
high populations of acuity, depression, anxiety, suicidality, disordered eating. Um, so yes, and there's a lot of groups that would benefit from having providers that look like them and make them more accessible.
Mhm. I can agree with that. And you did answer the question how I kind of want you to answer it because I believe it was important. So that's why I took it that direction. Okay. Demetrius, you have anything to say on that question?
Yes, it's actually important part of our platform because, as we mentioned before, we want to just make help with mental health issues more affordable. And now I think it's big advantage for people who already join our platform is just we have a list of all issues or questions which our current users have asked. And this question provides answer from psychologists, answer from caring community. And new people on our platform who will join or who will join us can easy open, for example, sort by category, for example, depression or diversity or love and any other categories, and open each of them and just read a story and understand the problem. Because for me personally, it's really great. It's really great way how to feel better is just read some stories which relate to me and just check answers. Because it's not important write a story personally or just check the similar story which already have answers from psychology expert, from mental health counselor or caring community, and I just seem this answer very helpful and can just implement this answer and this help to my life. And we have a lot of stories, about 100 stories about different topics. Each people can just sort by category, open each story which relate to them and find solution. It's simple, it works.
Well, I agree with that because one thing what I notice, what clears my mind is I will write out my thoughts and it allows me to clear my head. And I know that that's one way that people can go do it as well. And since you did mention about stories, storytelling is really good as well. And then people could read a story and make them feel better about themselves, correct?
Yes.
Feeling like you have a voice is one of the most powerful things in mental health. And we want to give people their voice and a level of comfort, maybe the first time they've felt that they can share.
Having a voice is important. Some people think they don't have a voice, and that's really bad. But everybody has a voice, but they have to feel like they have a voice.
Yes.
What do you expect individuals to gain from using your platform? Starting with Edward.
Well, individuals that are joining our platform are going to be able to feel supported in a way that they haven't maybe felt before, especially if they haven't worked with a mental health provider. They're going to have a place where they can go to and be able to ask a question they've never been able to ask before and get constructive feedback. Individuals on our platform are going to be able to access resources such as mental health providers. They're going to be able to access content that they can use in a self-paced way, and they'll be able to also utilize new technology to learn about coping strategies. And we're also going to, down the road, provide educational content in a way that is live and recorded, so everybody can be either there or asynchronous, but it's always going to be accessible through our different library of resources. So it's going to be something that's tailored to someone that is looking for help.
That sounds really interesting. So, Demetrius, you have anything to say on that as well?
Yes, exactly. Actually, I can just start with some simple example.
Okay.
Just imagine you go to the gym without trainer, without people who will train you and help with some exercises. You just go to the gym to work out about 1 year and you don't see result. It happened because you don't have a right way how to do exercises. Because you do it wrong, but you don't understand what you did it wrong. And our platform is something like a trainer. We help people to get direction how to solve this problem and go to this direction together. Because the main problem, people don't understand and just ask question, what's wrong with me? But it's wrong question because they don't have any attempt to find correct solution. And trainer, aka mental health counselor or psychology expert, can get this direction and help people understand what actually wrong with him or with her. And we will just go to this way together, to this direction together. Because we also provide not only consultation. Consultation is some kind of way how people find direction. We also provide a lot of resources which just maintain this direction, maintain people to solve this problem. It's actually a comprehensive platform for people who just go with a problem and get off with a solution.
So with the platform, it has a variety of choices people can choose according to wherever they're dealing with, correct?
Yes. It's not only forum. Forum, it's kind of community where people can ask any question. People can ask any question to psychology expert. People can ask any question under the educational content which we posted. A lot of places. Forum is a main activity. Now is the main activity where people can communicate with each other and can and help to each other. Yes.
Well, that's good. That's good. People can reach out to somebody else that might be in their same shoes, because that'll make them feel comfortable to express a little bit more. Correct?
Yes. Forum is an important part of our platform because it's great when people can just read a story which are very similar what happened in their lives. Yes, because it's easy when people meet each other and one people already solves this problem, second people just finding a solution. And if we match them, people can share and very simplify this way how to find solution.
What motivates you to achieve any of your goals and stay focused on them at work?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I talk, the patients that I work with, especially this time of year, goal setting is important. It's an important part of challenging us in a way that allows us to get into a flow state, allows us to experience resilience, it allows us to experience success. So, goal setting for me is very important. It's always been as an athlete, as a mental health provider, as a professional, both personal and professional goals. So I set intrinsic ones, goals that are ones that are going to help me grow over the next year. So, tangible goals that are for me are things that motivate me, becoming someone that, is the best version of myself. But aside from that, also helping people the best way that I can as a mental health provider, as a co-owner of AskMeAnything, as someone that, maybe is being asked to do a presentation on a topic. If I can help people, that is my goal. And that motivates me. If I can help one person or educate someone that they can use to help themselves or someone they know, that is motivating, and that is something that drives me every day.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, it's important to have goals and aspirations. It can drive you, and I do believe that as well. So, Demetrius, can you respond to that question?
Yes. First of all, I'm an Edward. We both is an entrepreneur. We have responsibility. We have responsibility to make something what people want. We need to simplify or make something affordable for people. It's our just direct responsibility as entrepreneurs. We need to improve current solution and make something new what can really impact the world and just deliver better solution to a lot of people. It's our direct responsibilities. It's really motivate us every day to when you just know what your solution can help a lot of people make this solution affordable, improve the solution each day, and just reading review from people who really just got a help from this platform. It's a great feeling.
Yes, I do agree.
Yes, we work into improving current solution, simplifying this solution, and make it more affordable to impact the world, to help people. It's our direct responsibilities as entrepreneurs.
Yes, it is important because with entrepreneurs, you do got to keep you got to be level-headed being an entrepreneur as well. Okay, well, since y'all both gave me your aspirations and goals, what are your goals for Ask Me Anything platform? Starting with Demetrius.
Current goal for now, it's just make a lot of content. As we just discussed with Edward before, we want to create a Netflix in a mental health area. We just now we bring in a lot of content, a lot of courses on our platform, which different topics, and propose to our subscribers, to our users. And second part of our development is just building a system with a psychology to attract psychology counselors, psychology experts on our platform. It's two different areas of development. Yes, I think this our strategy on this year at least.
Well, that's nice to hear as well. So, Edward, you have anything to say on that as well?
Yeah, it's always exciting, especially starting off about trying to figure out what goals we want to put in place. And I think that's where we are in our conversations about what do people want. And that's an important thing. We're listening. We want to gather feedback, but we're also formulating achievable goals in the kind of what we call sprints in a period of time, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, but also, quarterly. And I would say that going beyond, mid-year would be hard to say exactly what it's going to look like. It's going to evolve and become something that might look a lot different than it is today, but in a good way. Maybe it's more comprehensive. Maybe we have more providers. Maybe we have new emerging technology that comes out tomorrow that we can integrate into it. So right now it's looking at how we can get patients, individuals that are looking for mental health support on the platform to test it, to give us feedback during the 30 days they're trialing it, so we can better tailor it to one's need, and then based on that we'll develop goals and strategic initiatives to make that more accessible and more tailored to our population's needs.
Okay. Well, that sounds good and interesting as well. Well, since you did mention some facts already, so what are some facts that y'all got so far on your platform from individuals?
Well, that's a good question. We're seeing that just in terms of population, and Dimitri can kind of speak to it more, but we have most of our community members are from the United States and European countries. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dimitri. And also from the data that I went through, there's a lot of individuals reporting depression and anxiety. So the two primary symptoms that are, that's not uncommon, right? That's the two most prevalent symptoms around the globe. Almost like 21% of individuals either have anxiety or depression. That's almost 800 million people around the world experiencing those symptoms. So certainly seeing something that kind of mirrors what the statistics from the WHO says, the World Health Organization. But we're also, still, we only have what I would call sample size in terms of data, and it's probably hard to make accurate decisions off of. It's just interesting to see early on what people are coming for and what they're seeking, which is giving us indications on what we can offer right away. Someone could access, in the middle of the night, so it could better serve them. So it's just in the little information that we have, certainly, bringing on an e-course that is anxiety and depression informative. and other type of accessible electronic information that's based on that's going to be important.
Okay. Well, Demetrius, you have anything to say on that as well?
Yes. As Edward mentioned, this main goal here is it's actually, if we're talking about some kind of platform like BetterHelp, which just allow people to get long-term help with a psychology expert, it's yes, it's not direct our competitor, because we think this approach can afford a little part of our population, because it costs a lot. And we want to create a new approach here. It's very hard actually, because it's hard to just find the right way how to conduct our unit economic, how to provide our business model, because psychology experts cost a lot. But we want to just propose people to make it affordable for people. Yes, it's really hard work, which we do with Edward now, and we will do it in the future to make it. But it's our mission to make affordable help for people. Yes.
Well, I agree. That's a great mission to have, especially for what y'all are really doing. Now, I want to also ask you with the platform. So, can you describe, Demetrius, like the steps what people have to take when they first go onto the platform?
Yes, sure. If people want to feel welcome, they can sign up on our platform, write any post or search or any topic they want or struggle of, and just write a post. And actually, each post on our platform get response. Each post get response. It's our rule on our forum. And people just sign in, write a post, get response, and can continue communication with the other our community members. Or second options here, he subscribe and have 30 days free, and have 2 sessions with a psychology expert, have Q&A once in 2 weeks, and have some content event like lecture, like exclusive content from counselor or mental health expert or psychology expert. Yes. And I think it's a great way how to start, because you don't pay for anything, but you get a lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like that. So, Edward, you have anything to say on that as well?
No.
Okay. Well, I came up with another question that I want to go ahead and ask. This going to refer to Edward, since you deal with psychiatry. Why do you think suicide is high among men overall, and why do you believe some don't seek help for mental health issues?
Yeah, so I mean, what we know is that women attempt suicide more than men, but men are more successful, and that's because they use more extreme means to die by suicide, and that's something that that's been historic. And I also think that stigma is a large part of what prevents anyone from going to mental health services. But for men, historically, especially when we look at someone that's a little older, being able to tough it out, right? Some of the words that we heard, especially if you played sports, is that like we're gritty, we're resilient, we're tough, and all those things play a factor in like the perception of men seeking help. There's also parts of parts of mental health that prevent maybe men from going, such as like maybe they don't feel comfortable working with a woman. Maybe there's not a provider that's anywhere near them, or they don't know how to use technology to access mental health. I think when we look at the demographics, there's certainly more men than ever in the millennials and down age range that are seeking therapy compared to someone that is outside those groups. And that's just because of how mental health was taught and spoke about early on. I think that the numbers are becoming more and more even when we're covering genders in terms of seeking care. When we look at someone that was born after 1998. So I think some of the things that had blocked men from going to therapy historically, such as stigma and the masculinity part of being a man and not being able to show your emotions, certainly still play a role in those individuals that are born, 1995, and just giving kind of an example of kind of like where we're seeing this cutoff in terms of people that are more acceptive and others that aren't. I think a big thing too, Michael, is that mental health wasn't talked about in school at all until more recently. It wasn't taught in our health classes. It wasn't something that was discussed by our teachers. And now that conversation's happening earlier and it's becoming more normalized, there's counselors in schools and everybody, a lot of students are accessing it. That has been a big achievement in the field in terms of helping normalize and making it more accessible at an early age. That makes it, the outcomes much greater for someone to seek services later on in life, whether they're whatever gender they are. And I believe that has been the biggest factor in the success that we're having at the younger ages, where that didn't exist 30 years ago. And that's why we see a lot of men not seek care.
Well, I do agree with that because when I was in school, I don't remember them talking about anything about mental health. It's just been the last several years. Like with the Olympics, Michael Phelps was saying about mental health issues, and then another Olympic person in sports and so on. So it's well talked about now, and you don't have to feel ashamed about it because people was feeling ashamed about it.
I certainly agree. Yeah, that you bring up like two significant factors of Michael Phelps and then Simone Biles last summer in 2021. Two of the best athletes and well-known individuals in the United States, both sharing some significant mental health history, especially Simone having kind of a mental health crisis in front of the world and being able to talk about it, step away, put herself first, really, change the dynamic that if you have to put yourself first, no matter what stage you're at, to be the best that you can be. And she really changed how we support athletes at every level. And that was quite remarkable. And Michael Phelps was someone that has led that charge in the past 5 or 6 years, talking about his own substance and suicidality and depression. So, when you have figures that are well known and successful athletically, there's certainly a large population listening and seeing that, and that helps move the field, and stigma, pushes that stigma away and moves mental health into the forefront of what I call holistic care, mind and body health care as a whole, which is integrated care, is where I'm hoping that we continue to head globally. You go to the doctor to get a checkup, you're going to also get a mental health check-in too. All of those things, I think, are tied to normalizing and making mental health and a part of our healthcare system.
Yes, because more people should seek out for help because mental health is really nothing to play with because your mind can wonder about different things. You might question and you might don't want to do certain things, and it can really take over your life. Is that correct?
Yeah, without support, we know mental health, there's a untreated mental health usually will start to impact you at a certain time. Everyone's a little different in terms of how they're coping with it, but if you're struggling with your mental health day in and day out, it will catch up to you. It's really hard to cope, and we know that there's a large percentage of the population that thinks they can just cope and deal with their symptoms alone. And I think that's why we see such high numbers of anxiety, depression, because the thought that think about it like this: if you had a fever or if you had some sort of illness, would you treat it on your own? Would you treat, the symptom or illness on your own? No, you would go to the doctor. And I think that's the part that we're still struggling with, is that individuals aren't seeing that as the same. Being, if you have depression, you would go to a counselor, mental health provider to get treatment, get coping strategies, so you can start to live a life that isn't filled with ups and downs. So that, we're still working on that. Still, that's a part of normalization of mental health and the conversations.
So, Dimitri, you have anything to say on that as well?
Yes, one thing to add those. I think a lot of people, I think it's happened because actually first step to mental healthness is hard actually for people. A lot of people shame just to understand. A lot of people, for a lot of people, hard to understand some problems with their maybe mental health issues, and they do nothing to solve this. They don't want to think about it, and so on. And this problem just yes, it's my and we want to create a little simple step to people to just let me think. No, I think it's enough what I just said.
That's totally okay. Do y'all have anything else y'all want to express to the listeners regarding y'all platform? Starting with Edward.
Yeah, so anyone listening that's interested in learning more, if you have a question, you're welcome to contact us. You can go to AskMeAnythingToday.com. We have a support form there you can fill out and be able to answer questions. But we want people to know that there is a place for you to go where you can have a voice, you can explore mental health in a way that maybe you haven't got to explore before. There is help out there for you. And whether it's at Ask Me Anything or with a local provider or somebody, another platform, try it. Go for yourself. You deserve it. And someone's there to help you.
And same to you, Demetrius. You have anything to say on that as well?
Yes. Mental health, as we mentioned before, it's a place where people can just feel welcome and totally understand. If they write something or respond on somebody post, they don't judge or get assessment from anybody. Because it's important part to do not struggle about judgment and assessment, because you can ask anything you want on our platform and people will help you anytime.
Well, that is good that y'all service is 24 hours, because people do go through a lot of things and they may don't want to discuss it, but maybe at a certain time, like, oh, I have a thought in my mind and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. They can just jump on the site right now and get a solution, and they might start feeling better right away and go back to sleep. So that's one way people can look at it, correct?
Yes, I have a very funny story which happened about 1 month ago with our platform. As you mentioned before, we have 24/7 surveys,
Yes.
and one time in the evening, in the night, middle of night, people ask me about, like, I don't have money to buy something to eat. Can you please help me? And I personally order pizza to him. Yes.
That is very funny.
Yes. I was in Mexico. he was in the United States, and I just download application like Uber and Uber Eats and just order pizza to him. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that was really interesting. The person asks about food on your platform. How interesting is that?
But please don't repeat it. It's one-time promotion.
That's a good one, but still, it's just that the person decided to reach out for that. I'm like, okay, that's not what the service for. Well, at least the person felt comfortable with going and saying it in the first place. That's really what the platform. The platform is a way for you to feel comfortable about what's ever on your mind and don't feel embarrassed or ashamed that you're going through something. Correct?
Yes.
Exactly. It's really well said, is that the platform is a place for you to feel safe. It's anonymous. You can go and know that the people around you are either experiencing something similar or they've gone through something similar and they're there to support you. That's something that's hopefully removes some of the anxiety about going onto a new platform or posting something for the first time. The platform is made for mental health support. That's what we're here for.
Well, Demetrius and Edward, thank you for being a guest on Consulting Between Friends podcast. Before we go, well, Demetrius, can you explain how people can contact you if they would like to know more about this platform?
Yeah, sure. People can reach out, social media link when we attach under this podcast, or through my email, like Dmitry.askmeanythingtoday.com.
Okay. Edward, can you tell my listeners how they can contact you if they have any questions?
Sure. They're welcome to email me at edward@askmeanythingtoday.com. I'm on Twitter at Edward P. Dara. I'm not going to answer specific clinical questions just because there's some HIPAA related pieces to that as a provider, but I will certainly provide you resources if needed or answer any questions about Ask Me Anything. But yeah, Edward P. Dara on Twitter, and Edward at AskMeAnythingToday.com.
Okay. Well, once again, Demetrius and Edward, thank you for being a guest on Consulting Between Friends podcast. I did enjoy interviewing y'all today and learning about y'all platform, Ask Me Anything for mental health. Like everyone out there, if you're dealing with some form of mental health, don't feel ashamed and reach out. Reach out on this platform or reach out to family and friends.
Thank you, Michael, for having us. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Appreciate
You're welcome. After a short break, we will return. We are back. In closing, I hope the information discussed today on mental health was very helpful to everyone. The founders of Ask Me Anything explain why individuals should consider using the benefits they offer. Ask Me Anything wants to change the way individuals think about mental health. I hope everyone takes the knowledge of mental health to benefit themselves or someone they know that may need assistance. This episode is dedicated to the families and friends who are affected by mental health. In the memory of two of my family members whose lives that were taken by mental health. Both of my family members committed suicide. So if you or someone you know is dealing with mental health issues, seek help and treatment if possible. Share your stories on Instagram and I will mention some on the podcast. One last thing. Remember to support local businesses and have confidence first. If you have any mental health issues, this is the first step to recovery. Thank you for listening to Consulting Between Friends. This podcast is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts, as well other platforms that are available. So like and subscribe. Need to contact us and leave us a comment? You can find us on Instagram at Consulting the letter B Friends. Once again, Consulting B Friends. An email address is consulting the letter B friends at gmail.com. Once again, consulting B friends at gmail.com. Consulting Between Friends now has a merch online store called Podcast Merch Headquarters. This is where you can buy merch to show your support for the podcast. Some items to choose from are t-shirts, tumblers, and hoodies, as well many other things I know you will appreciate. So take the time to review the items in the store. The link will be available in the podcast notes under Podcast Merch Headquarters. Consulting Between Friends appreciates the constant support. It means a lot. If you would like to support the podcast more, you can find me on Patreon at Consulting Be Friends. Once again, at Consulting Be Friends. The link will be in the description. Consulting Between Friends now has a way for listeners to share their feedback about the podcast. The listeners can now share their feedback on Discord. The link will be available in the podcast notes and on the podcast website. Thanks again for the support. If you have an extra minute, it would be greatly appreciated if you could answer a few questions regarding the quality of the podcast. The link will be in the description. Consulting Between Friends. Thanks to everyone for making this possible. The host, Michael Holmes Jr., the producer and content creator, Michael Holmes Jr., the artwork cover, Michael Holmes Jr., original music, a DJ named Slash, special guest, Demetrius Kojo, founder of AskMeAnything, product manager, Edward Durham, founder of AskMeAnything, licensed professional counselor, content distributor, My Producer Podcasts,